Okay, we are live here. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today at our Eye Care Business live stream on our Facebook and YouTube pages. And I am Erin Morgan. I am the editor-in-chief of Eye Care Business magazine, and I am really excited to be here today with two amazing folks. We are here with Dr. Rajan Arora. He is an optometrist and practitioner with Vision Arora in Dallas, Texas. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Arora. We appreciate you being here. And also we are here with Joe Kuntz of Essilor. He is an Essilor account executive to help share some information with us today. And we are going to share some really cool background info on the Varilux challenge that is going on right now. And Dr. Arora has done this challenge at his independent practice in Dallas and really bolstered his bottom line in just 30 days. It's a really interesting, unique kind of challenge, and we're going to hear from both Joe a little bit about how the challenge works and from Dr. Arora how it worked specifically in his own practice for those 30 days. So we really appreciate you both being here. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Good to be here. So, Dr. Arora and Joe, obviously in today's challenging business climate, eye care professionals, optometrists, the staff of the optical, everyone is looking for an advantage for their practice or their business. Joe, the Varilux challenge is definitely something really cool right now that can, really bring some benefits to the bottom line. So can you tell us a little bit about the Varilux challenge first, just for background for our viewers?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Varilux challenge is a challenge that practices can sign up for. And what they do is focus on recommending Varilux lenses for 30 straight days to all of their presbyopic patients. So if you're a practice right now that doesn't use Varilux, of course, it's a great opportunity and challenge to partake in to get feedback and use the product for 30 days. But then if you're a practice that already has Varilux as an opportunity or a product to choose from, I would still recommend participating in the challenge because it allows you and your team to focus on areas that might not have been focused on before to use Varilux. What I mean by that is your bifocal wearers, your trifocal wearers, first time wearers, or even someone in a different design. It allows you and your team to present Varilux as an opportunity to drive growth, but then also delight your customers with the best lens technology of Varilux. So I really think it's a great opportunity for any practice to get involved with and just give it a shot for 30 days.
Definitely. That's very, very cool and seems pretty straightforward and simple, but could have a lot of benefits in the end. So Dr. Arora, can you tell us then kind of what was your experience like taking the challenge at your practice, Vision Arora in Dallas there, and when did you do it and kind of how did it benefit your bottom line?
First of all, I want to say I kind of like challenges because to me, if we challenge ourselves, it's an opportunity for us to learn something different, something new, something out of the box. It helps improve systems and therefore really ultimately I think you can only grow if you really want to grow. So I kind of enjoy the whole challenge opportunity to begin with. I just took it on to great. We were already doing Varilux lenses, but we want to take it a whole different step. So I instead of just telling people about progressive lenses, I started using the name Varilux in the exam room itself. And it worked very well, actually. Patients responded very positive to it because they knew specifically what I'm talking about. And I was able to talk specifically about their needs and their problems. And so it actually went very well, definitely improved our bottom line and did much better there. So it's a great opportunity to grow. Yes, in 30 days, we really knocked it out of the park and we're continuing to do so.
Well, congratulations. That's pretty exciting. I bet your staff enjoyed it too. Just kind of something to, unique to take on and challenge yourselves with. So it's really cool program. So Dr. Arora, I know that kind of insisting on, or suggesting to the patients Varilux lenses for 30 days, that definitely impacted your practice, it sounds like. Can you tell us a little more specifically how that might have impacted things like capture rate, your overall profitability, and then patient satisfaction, of course?
Absolutely. I think the challenge in the challenge times that we have right now, you kind of look at what is our capture rate, and our capture rate was actually very low a few years ago. We had gotten it up. So I'm going to share some numbers. We were actually at 25%, and we had gotten it to the highest we've ever been is about 44%. Well, 30 days, we just put the pedal to the metal and said, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And no other options. This is how we're going to do it. And our capture rate went over 90%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
So that's a capture rate part of the scenario. And I just looked at the capture rate. We've been at 70% to 90% since we started the Varilux challenge. Profitability is kind of a no-brainer because you do profit more. But I think when we think of profitability, we think of mostly in terms of monetary value, profit. But it made me think a little differently because of some instances that happened or situations that occurred. The intangible profitability. And what I mean by that is when you solve people's problems, we created a lot of loyalty. Had one patient come back in 30 days, he bought 3 more pairs of Varilux X lenses. He's in his 60s.
Wow.
He loved them so much. He goes, this is the best pair of glasses I've ever had. I've never seen this good. You've got to get a prescription, but the quality of the lens, the experience that he had, we've never sold 4 pair of glasses to any person. Definitely not within 30 days, within a year. So that was mind-blowing. And he's self-pay, by the way. There's no insurance involved in that. So profitability, well, that's already out of the park in that respect. So what was the other scenario there? Yeah, patient satisfaction.
Patient satisfaction.
Recall patients to see how they were doing with their new lenses. I wanted to make it a point to do something different. Again, a challenge, right? So I challenged my staff, call patients 2 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks after the glasses have been dispensed. And if we didn't get a hold of someone, when we got a hold of them, they were all very happy. We had no complaints, none. So everybody was very happy.
That's amazing. Well, and that patient satisfaction really is a currency. It has a lot of value.
One person satisfied is one thing, but to create an experience, to create loyalty, I think that's an intangible, immeasurable profit center, basically.
Absolutely.
I think it's totally intangible. So I just thought that was really a key point there.
That's very cool. It's exponential, right? Because that just keeps coming back, it builds on itself and it keeps coming back to you, and word of mouth and, repeat patients and loyalty, as you said.
Totally. We see the whole family now. And that's just one experience. We've had others where we had multiple pairs. We didn't have multiple pairs before. And now we've had that, which is, the word of mouth. Absolutely. It totally works. They're like, oh, I've got my lenses. My God, these are best pair of glasses, because they feel really good about what they're seeing and how they're performing. Why wouldn't they share the word with their friends? So they do.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Well, congratulations on that. What would you say, kind of looking at your 30 days, looking at the challenge as a whole, what was the biggest lesson learned during the challenge for you, and your practice?
I think the key part, I don't think there was one really just biggest lesson, maybe a couple of lessons. And one big one was not recommending something only to a patient, but actually prescribing it like if it was a medication that somebody's going to go get. So if you're prescribing something, why am I prescribing it? So being very direct, obviously in a professional, polite manner, being very direct about this is what you need to solve these problems, and using the Varilux name so they can tie that together to state this specific lens to solve these specific problems and issues in the exam room. So that's the second part.
Right.
In the exam room. So it's a prescription in the exam room to solve X, Y, and Z chief complaints or issues the person's having, and addressing those
Absolutely.
totally related to having the sale in the optical and solving their, to solve their problem. So they follow
Absolutely.
through. They follow through. So that I think I'd say that's probably the two biggest things, which is
Yeah,
just prescribing and just telling them this is what they need in the exam room itself. Yep.
for sure. And when that product delivers for them and they're happy with it, as it sounds like, your patients were, that just builds a very strong trust because you've recommended what they really, something really benefited them for sure.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Gives you a lot more
So
confidence that you're going to solve their problems. So yeah,
exactly, and goodness knows after, through the pandemic, everyone needed folks that they could trust, and it's a great time for that, to be able to build that trust again. So I just want to ask Joe real quick. Joe, is there anything that you'd like to add here? Kind of what should practices know going into the challenge to ensure they get the most out of the experience, and can be successful with it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's really two things, and I think Dr. Aurora hit on one of them pretty good there. Is I think the big thing is if you can have a team approach within the office. So Dr. Aurora, of course, talked about prescribing in the exam lane. Sometimes when it comes to lenses, right, when it comes to Varilux, it's, oh, the whole just talk about that and do that. But if you can get everyone bought into this challenge, if you have the techs in the workup asking questions to uncover needs, then you have the doctors talking and prescribing the exam lane. It really just makes it a streamlined and smooth interaction once you get to optical to talk about the Varilux products. So again, that first thing is to really have a team effort approach with it, and you'll see good success. And then the second thing is we here at Essilor are providing resources and support throughout the 30 days. And so what I mean by that is if you're part of the challenge, you can be on the lookout for different tips, resources, ABO credited classes, and different things sent to you via email throughout the time so that all the staff gets more comfortable and more excited about the process. So with those two things, I think any practice could be set up for success.
That's great. Thanks for the tips. That's super helpful for our viewers for sure. So going back to Dr. Arora here, I just want to ask you, given the success of all of this and the success with the patients, have you made any or plan to make any permanent changes at your practice as a result of the challenge and what your experience was with that?
Yes, actually, just learning to kind of, like I said, challenge is try to do something different. And one thing that we did was we actually had the perception that maybe cost was an issue for patients. So we decreased the cost a little bit. However, what came out of that was when we presented the options, it was predominantly Varilux X that was purchased by patients. So I feel like that sometimes we think cost is an issue for patients. So one thing that we want to not do is judge the book by its cover and realize that patients, when you're solving their problem, they're totally open to solving their problem and cost becomes less of a factor. So what I have done as a permanent scenario is, wait, we decreased the price a little bit and they actually chose the higher lenses again and again and again. So I've kind of made that permanent actually. Said, you know what, we're just going to decrease the price, not just for the Varilux challenge for 30 days. Actually, I've made the Varilux challenge indefinite. So we're going to continue
Wow,
the
nice.
challenge at those prices because the reality is the capture rate is really up. We have great profitability. The patients, we're creating more loyalty. They're having a better experience and we're making money and everybody's happy. It's a total win-win situation. So why would I just stop it for 30 days? We're going to continue it indefinitely and the pricing stays exactly what we did in the challenge and we're still rocking it. So I just, like I said, I think the biggest thing is loyalty is priceless. I think in today's day with all the online world, loyalty is priceless. So if you can create a great experience for patients and create loyalty, brand loyalty, I think you win families and friends, and I mean that's the best source of marketing I think we can all have. So we're going to
So
continue
true.
that permanent thing. Yeah, it's indefinite now.
That's fantastic. Well, I'm glad to hear
Challenge
that.
every day.
That's a really cool change to make, for sure. The Varilux challenge continues, which is
Got it.
awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So I have one more quick question for Joe, just kind of in a broad overview, looking at where we're at now, kind of in this post-pandemic period of time, as the eye care professionals, really are looking to get back on their feet. Joe, kind of just to know, what is Essilor doing today? Obviously, there's things like the Varilux Challenge to support independent practices today, helping them get back on their feet as they recover from the pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're doing a couple things, and I'll hit on with this Varilux Challenge first is, again, you can sign up for this Varilux Challenge right now. And so the first 500 practices that actually sign up for the Varilux Challenge, what we're going to do is provide a care package to the practices that sign up. And what so we're excited about that. And in that package, it'll provide resources and point of purchase materials to help emphasize what the staff and team is talking about. So of course, when a patient hears about it and also sees about it, it can increase and really validate that purchase intention that they might have. So we're excited about that to help these practices. And then of course, I already mentioned some of those tips and practices and resources that we'll be providing in the Varilux Challenge. But the big one that I'm most excited about is we're really going to enhance our media presence. So when it comes to TV, advertising, commercials, and digital, we want to make the Varilux name known. As Dr. Arora highlighted that he's now using the Varilux name in the exam lane, and patients are understanding it and recognizing it. We really want to build that brand awareness. And so the more that people can come into the practice and specifically ask for Varilux, it makes it a lot easier to do the challenge, right? If a patient just comes in asking for a progressive, that's one thing. But if they ask for it by name, it's a home run, right? And so speaking of home run, is we're going to actually enhance some media and advertisements with the Major League Baseball. So we just watched the Field of Dreams game. We had Frank Thomas on there with some advertising and personal experience about Varilux. And so we're going to continue to advertise throughout MLB as well as online and different platforms to, again, drive brand awareness. And the more brand awareness we can drive, what we're ultimately going to do is filter those advertisements to independent practices. We want them there in offices like Dr. Arora to get the best products and to see their best.
How exciting.
Yeah,
that's really cool about the MLB advertising as well. That just happened.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Well, it sounds like you folks are doing a lot. Yeah, to support. Yeah, so this is a great amount of information. And Dr. Arora, thank you so much for sharing your insights into this and what happened in your practice when you took this on. Seems like a real slam dunk, and really great rewards for that. And Joe, thanks for providing the background on everything and the details on, kind of how folks can get involved with the program. So I just want to mention to everyone that's watching, please check our comment bars on Facebook and on YouTube here. If you're interested in taking the Varilux Challenge, if you have any questions, you can sign up for the Varilux Challenge at variluxchallenge.com. And if you have any questions, the Varilux team can answer those for you if you email them at variluxpro@essilorusa.com. But this information is in our comment bars here on Facebook and on YouTube. So you can just copy and paste any of that and put it in and get your questions answered or get signed up for the Varilux Challenge. And I know Joe said the first 500 to sign up are going to get a gift package or a welcome package. So that sounds pretty exciting too. So we thank you. I thank you both for joining us today. Thanks to the audience. We really appreciate everyone's time. And thank you, Joe and Dr. Arora, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so
Joe.
much.
Thank you, Aaron. It was a pleasure.
It was it was awesome. Yeah, good luck out there. Thank you so much.
All right.
Have a good
Have a
day. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks.